Hello everyone, I'm going to demo the Salesforce Dependent Picklist Matrix export and import browser extension. In the new version it has an import feature as well. You could get it from the Chrome Web Store and it is supported on any Chromium based browser such as Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge, Opera, Brave and many others. When you are here you can click the Add to Chrome button, Add extension button, and it would automatically install the browser extension on the browser. You could go through some of the instructions here, but I will demo it to you today. So after installation, you could go to any object which has a dependent picklist setup. In my case, I have an account object where there is a controlling field called SLA. This SLA controlling field has a dependent field called child level 1. When you click the edit button, you would see a green section here. This is put in here by the browser extension and it will give you some important instructions for how to use it. You could get a one-on-one support or support by email by clicking the get support button. Here you would find some available times to book a time slot with me that is free of cost, as well as you could send an email to contact@sftcproducton.com. We could also arrange an ad hoc call and see how I could support you. You could get the license key from this button, get a license key. It will take you to this page where you could find some instructions, and it supports a 7-day free trial and what type of license you should buy. So if you are using only for an individual user, go for an individual license. If you want to use the extension for more than one user, go for an enterprise license. There is a yearly and monthly plan. Depending on your use case, you could use any. The number of seats represents the number of licenses. So if you're using individual, putting a 2 here would mean you're buying 2 licenses so the 2 users can use the extension. When you're buying an enterprise license, this should always be 1 because enterprise license supports any number of users. On clicking the subscribe button, you would be taken to the checkout page, and once the payment is processed, you would receive an email with your license key. When you have the license key, there are 2 ways to validate it. You could click the extension options button here, or go to the extensions menu here and Salesforce dependent picklist. Click the 3 buttons, 3 dots, click the options. So 2 ways, either click the options from here or from here. Let's do it from here. Here you enter the license key, and this license key you would receive in your email, and click the save button. This will validate the license for you. So once the license is validated, you can refresh the screen and you would see that now you are presented with options on how to use the extension. Use the export matrix button to export this matrix, and import matrix button to import any changes. An important note here is that for exporting you do not need edit access to the matrix, and but for import you do need an access because you wouldn't be able to save the changes. So when I click the export button, it parses the matrix and creates a CSV file with the name of the controlling field SLA hyphen the dependent field name, which is child level 1. Let's see now how you could analyze and read the export file. Here we are. I'll filter the data. On the first column, you would see The controlling field values, second column represents the dependent field values. The third one is a keyword field which tells you that whether the dependent value is included or excluded. The first row is a header containing the controlling field name, second containing the child field name or dependent picklist field name, third one is a reserved row for keywords. Here it means that for a controlling value of gold, these are all the available dependent picklist values. If I want to know which are the values included, I'll filter for included values and rows. This will show me that when SLA is of type gold, the child 11.1 field can only have no C plus D and this value. This is a foreign language character, so not sure how to read it, but I suppose it's a Japanese one, which you could see on the Salesforce org here. This one. Excel doesn't represent some Unicode characters correctly, but other text editors would represent it correctly. Maybe there is a way to represent foreign Latin or foreign non-English characters, Unicode characters in Excel as well. If you want to check which are excluded values, filter for the excluded rows, and this is only for gold. If you check the metrics, going to the gold value, all the yellow highlighted values are included. There are only three, and all non-highlighted values are excluded. That is how you analyze the values. And so now, if you want to share this with your PA team, with your client team, with developers, or any other team who would like to make changes, what they could you could instruct them is you could tell them that whatever for whichever controlling field they want the dependent field to be included, just set that to included. So for example, I will set yes to be included for controlling value of gold. The casing shouldn't matter, but prefer to do uppercase. Randomly I will do another one. Let's take silver. For silver, yes is excluded. I will include it. And for gold, um, um, let's take any included value. Yeah, silver is included. Okay, what I would do is I filtered only for excluded. That is why I will. For now, gold has a dependent value of no. I will change from included to excluded. That means we do not want the value no to be available when gold SL is set to gold. I will also introduce some errors that is realistic, changing the controlling field value to something which doesn't exist, and then changing the dependent field value which doesn't exist, and I will save the CSV file. I'll go back to the matrix. So now the file has been prepared with the changes. You would have received it from your client, from BA team, from a functional team, or from a developer. Select it and click the import button. This will generate another file called import result. Save it to your machine, and you would see also important user messages appear in this green section. So always see this section for any messages, any errors. It tells you that check the downloaded result file for applied changes or any errors. That I'll show you how to do that. And then validate the changes using the preview button. This is the preview button. And then press save button to apply the changes. This is the save button. Let's now see what the import result looks like. I'll filter the data. Now, import, there are two extra columns here. The first three columns are same what you had in the import file. This is the result file. It will show you the result, import result of error or success. To see all the errors, filter on the error rows. You would see that the controlling field value silver with an S is not found in the matrix. That is correct. Dependent field value E7D is not found in the matrix. That is correct. That is what we have introduced. And this row is a blank row, so it couldn't be imported. We'll filter on the successes, and you would see two type of messages. One is import successful, the other is import successful, no change done. Import successful, no change done means the app has validated these particular configurations. That means for controlling value of gold, maybe value of dependent picklist field is excluded. And for controlling value of gold, the dependent picklist field C plus D is included. There were no changes detected in the import file, so it says no changes are done by this app. The other message, import successful, it shows you all the changes which were done by the app. It shows a success, that means the gold value is the no value, dependent value will not be available for gold because it is excluded, but the yes value will be available for gold because it is included, and yes value will be available for silver because it's included. We could validate that here. This is one validation how you could validate the changes. The other way is clicking the preview button. When you select the SLA as gold, you would see that yes, C plus D and the forward value is available. And if you compare here, the no value which was previously there available is no more available for selection, and yes is included. For silver, yes should be included, so we can check that. Yes is included, which wasn't available before. An important note here is that the app has made changes to this matrix here on this screen. It hasn't applied the changes. What that means is until and unless you click the save button, the changes will not be applied. If I refresh the screen or close the tab, the changes will be gone. So until I save the changes, click the save button, the changes will not be applied. So now I will click the save button, and that is how the changes are committed to the Salesforce org. I'll go to the edit button again. Sometimes the page doesn't load, so you could refresh the screen, and you would see that for gold, yes, C plus D, and this value is available. That is what we have here. I've just done successful, but there are other included values for gold as well. An important note here is that you could use this feature to compare matrices across Salesforce orgs as well as validate changes. How? Suppose if you want to compare your production org metrics with the dev environment, you export the metrics from production, import it into your dev org, and then filter on the import result as success or failure depending on how you want to check the result. But for successes, if there is a row of import successful, it means those rows are different in production and dev environment. If the file has import successful, no changes done, it means there are rows which are exactly same as that in production, which are available in dev. If there are errors, you could see why those errors have occurred. Maybe some picklist values do not exist in dev or maybe in production. Thank you.